PLC Network here at CES 2023. We are in the Z-Wave booth with Mitch here with Z-Wave. We've got some exciting things to talk about that's kind of surrounding Z-Wave and the whole platform. That's really fascinating, actually, because there's so many moves happening in the industry right now with Matter, and Z-Wave has a new open source thing that they're doing. Yep. And so should we start off with maybe the whole Matter transition?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. First of all, James, it's great to have you back in our booth. Always welcome, and I know you've been touring a whole bunch of our members and looking at some great products, because that's kind of what people like, are those products.
Absolutely.
But you talk about Matter, so I think Matter has definitely been the shiny new object, and has been, when you get the big guys like the big four, you know, Apple, Google, Amazon, Samsung, and a couple of hundred other companies all saying, hey, we're going to create this new standard because there's all these other standards, and so we'll have a new standard. It took a lot of attention away from what's really going on in the smart home. We're fully supportive of Matter, so let me make that clear right off the bat. We think that the fact that they're looking at interoperability and claiming how important it is, someone's finally saying what we've been saying for 20 years.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's always been a great idea, just not everybody's been on board all at once like this.
Yeah, so the industry's been so fragmented. And so what they're doing is great, fully support it. And at some point in time, I think it's going to become a much bigger opportunity for consumers to really get, you know, the kind of products and systems that they want. But you can do that now with Z-Wave, so you don't actually have to wait. You can actually do that like today.
I've been doing it for years.
Yeah. As have we. 20, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. What's nice about Matter is that the whole idea of it is to bring like any ecosystem together in terms of, because people think, okay, Schlog and SwitchBot maybe they're not on there yet, but but some of these other brands, like we're just bringing these individual brands, but it's not just about that. It's Z-Wave is another. Correct. It's good to be able to see that it moves into a much larger level. It's just like this whole thing that already exists still exists. It's very powerful, very functional, and that too can be integrated into it and bring everybody together to play safely.
Yeah, exactly right. And when you come to the Z-Wave booth and you see multiple companies doing door locks, and they're all happy to be working together.
Yep.
And that's because it's exactly that.
Yeah.
That when you put door locks in your home, not one size does not fit all. Different models, different brands, different cosmetics, but yet they can all work together. That's what Z-Wave's been doing, and that's what the plan behind Matter is, to do that same thing. So.
Absolutely. So two different things that are safe, secure, and functional, playing ball together like best friends. And this is great, because now there's more of the world that's going to be, or more people out there are going to be able to experience Z-Wave that never really knew it was there. Because now you're going to see that in a list, and they're going to start asking questions like, well, wait a minute, this seems to be well established. There's a lot of names that have why haven't I heard about this before? Mm-hmm. So and it also allows you to kind of really dive deeply into not having to worry about what you're buying in a store in terms of what works with what and everything like that. So it works for both new customers and old customers like myself alike, which I really like to hear. Because I want to get involved with some of these Matter products when they come out.
You will want to, yes, at some point.
And I'm not replacing my Z-Wave products. I'm keeping those.
So what's actually happened is, while all this excitement about Matter has been in the public domain, Z-Wave has been very quietly going out and really doing some really, really good things for the platform and for the consumer. And one of the things that we did is we put a project together that we call the Open Source Project. Okay, so why does anyone care about that? Well, because the source code for Z-Wave has typically been under one domain, Silicon Labs. Done a great job with it, and I'm actually a Silicon Labs employee, just to clarify that. But we had that alone, and there's just so much one can do on your own. So we're very, very focused. We've had a great opportunity to really drive the security market. We're in almost 95% of this monitored security panels, and the sensors and the door locks and the light switches, so on and so forth. But by taking the source and opening it up, putting it on a GitHub, and enabling any Z-Wave member to develop with it, now we've got armies of people that can expand the capabilities for Z-Wave to add in functionality that, quite honestly, couldn't get in the priority list. Right? So not only that, but it also gives the opportunity for additional silicon companies to come in. And so now you've got not just additional software capabilities, but you're going to have additional hardware capabilities too. And all this is happening and moving forward while Matter is being developed, right? The other thing we also got was long range, and we announced that also while everyone's looking at Matter. And you're like, well, Why do I care about long range? Well,
there's a lot of reasons to care about long range.
Exactly right. So, anything from a door lock being a little bit too far away, and, Z-Wave is a mesh setup, so you could simply solve that problem by adding more Z-Wave devices. But if you're going out to a pool house or all the way out to a rural mailbox or a gate or what have you, or even more importantly, when you look at MDUs, and for an MDU we're talking about apartment buildings or condominiums or hotels or hospitality, there you really do need distance because you're going through, 3-foot concrete slabs.
Absolutely.
Right. So, it makes a lot of sense in that case, and also enables you to go beyond a mile and upwards of 4,000 devices on one single hub, which is pretty cool stuff.
Well, it's important because this is what's allowed certain other projects to really thrive so much, like Home Assistant, for example.
That's right.
It's so open source, it's so functional, it's so flexible, and there's such a huge user base. And Z-Wave has been the same for forever now. There's such a huge community out there, and so much custom code and stuff that you've been able to use, but of course, still, it hasn't been completely open source.
Exactly.
So now you're looking at that, and it's going to get so much bigger now.
That's right. So much bigger and, again, more flexible.
Yes,
more products.
Way more flexible.
That's
Z-Wave's sticking around.
Yeah. Oh, no, we're not going anywhere. And to that point, as we talk about Matter, and as we know that at some point that's going to become really important, we keep telling our companies and our customers, keep doing what you're doing, keep building your product, because interoperability means more than just interoperable within the Matter fabric, but interoperability with Z-Wave, with Zigbee products, and with other platforms. And Silicon Labs actually has a product that I know we were talking about a little earlier, right? Which is basically a piece of software that's going to be able to sit on a gateway or a hub that's going to make a Z-Wave device and or Zigbee devices both look like Matter devices. Everything will be interoperable. So keep on going, James, with all your Z-Wave devices, because they're going to keep going, keep working.
Yeah, I'm not replacing any of them. They've taken good care of me over the years, and I love it. I'm going to keep adding to it,
Awesome.
but I'm going to adventure into Matter as well. Now that I'm going to have that availability, I'm going to take advantage of it, and I like that. And I can't wait to see what some of the open source, the shift towards open source, really delivers in terms of what I can find out there and integrate into my network based on what other people are doing.
Well, if you're a Z-Wave member and you don't mind putting your hands on top of code, we can do some pull requests.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to start coding, right?
I want to nerd out a little bit.
I think he does this.
Yeah, I do. Now Z-Wave has some other things coming up too. You have something exciting coming up shortly?
Yeah, so our members are constantly asking, as is the media, so on and so forth, okay, how big is the market? What's going on with the marketplace? So every year, we come out with the state of the ecosystem for Z-Wave. And again, we're going to do that as well. It's going to come out in February. So,
okay.
But what we're doing different this year is, in the past, we've always done the surveys within the United States. So we have U.S. info. Well, we're now adding in some information for Europe. How is Europe doing? And we're doing it by, again, Europe isn't a thing like the U.S. is a thing. So we chose the three, I guess, most popular smart home countries, which were the U.K., Germany, and France. There are others, and we'll do those in coming years, but now we can see how is the smart home being adopted. Z-Wave is an important piece of that data, but this is also about just market sizing as well. Okay. So it's going to be really coming out in February, and you'll be able to access it through the Z-Wave website, zwave.com.
Perfect. So that's something to look forward to. I can't wait to see that myself.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a really exciting year for everybody, not just Z-Wave, but this is exciting.
Every year it's exciting to me.
Yeah,
James.
it's having the integration and everything. Having the access to Matter is going to be a good strength for Z-Wave, but it's also a huge strength for Matter, because that's going to give that whole ecosystem a huge boost, because that's it's already there. The foundation's there.
That's right.
So that's something to look forward to. If you want to learn more about any of this stuff, obviously you want to go to Silicon Labs' website. We had a conversation with Claudio earlier. It was a wonderful conversation about what's to come. You can find out more information from Silicon Labs there, plus Z-Wave's website, and of course, State of the Ecosystem that's coming up next month.
Up soon. That's right. Yep.
That's great. Can't wait for it. Mitch, thank you so much. This has been a fantastic conversation.
Always a pleasure to see you, James.
As always, we cannot wait to see what comes next.
That's fabulous. Thank you for the time.
If you want to stay on top of all the latest and greatest, and or at least the gadgets we cover, remember to subscribe right here. Subscription button. Click it. You're going to want to. There's lots of videos, interviews, previews, all sorts of stuff. Button. Click it.